Life force energy. What is it and how do we get more of it? That's a question I've been laser focused on for about a month now, and my deep dives definitely found some gold. If you look for answers in standard modern wellness, you get told to buy supplements or download a meditation app. We treat energy like calories or sleep, but it's actually voltage. Your body isn't a meat sack powered solely by the right food, and spirituality is more than just a concept in the mind. The human body is a highly sophisticated liquid crystal semiconductor network, and life force energy? It's simply the electrical current running through that network. It's the literal voltage of your awareness traveling through your tissues to power your processing engine. Today, we're talking about that literal mechanical hand crank on your biological generator, and we'll look at the history of how we left this brilliant technology by the wayside. What is this technology? It's dance. But to understand it, we have to strip the word back a bit. For a lot of us, dance carries social anxiety, performance pressure, and perhaps some heavy religious baggage. So let's look at the engineering instead. Your fascia, the connective tissue wrapping every muscle and organ, is piezoelectric. When you mechanically squeeze, twist, or bend it, it generates an electrical charge. The pelvis is the center of your mass. It contains the densest convergence of this liquid crystal grid in your entire body. But it's not just about electrical voltage, it's about hydraulics. Your brain doesn't pump its own fluid. Cerebrospinal Fluid, CSF, the highly conductive, electrolyte-dense liquid crystal that bathes your central nervous system, is moved by the Craniosacral Pump. The two main handles of this pump are the base of your skull, the occiput, and your sacrum, the triangular bone between your hips. When you rock your pelvis, you are manually cranking that pump, driving fresh fluid up to wash metabolic waste out of your brain, dropping your nervous system's electrical resistance to near zero. When a human experiences trauma, chronic stress, or even just long hours of analytical frustration, the nervous system stores that unfinished processing loop as localized electromagnetic tension, what we call neurostatic. It gets trapped in the brain's emotional centers and the spinal cord's reflex pathways. Moving the sacrum physically stretches the dura mater, the tough protective sleeve that wraps around your entire spinal cord and anchors directly into the bones of your skull. When you rock the pelvis, you are physically tugging on the bottom of the structural sleeve. This mechanical tension, combined with the hydraulic fluid rush, acts like a physical defrag command on your hard drive. It shakes loose the trapped electrical charge of old stress loops, allowing your autonomic nervous system to instantly drop out of fight or flight and glide into deep, restorative coherence. So, why did a lot of us grow up with dance being villainized or just ignored altogether? History shows us a very clear path. For thousands of years across ancient cultures all around the world, rhythmic pelvic movement wasn't treated as an isolated performance or a workout. It was a sophisticated cultural technology. It was how communities celebrated collective joy, marked life transitions, and naturally discharged grief or trauma after survival stress. The movement was a regularly used integration tool. You see this brilliant use of the human body's technology beautifully preserved in isolated hip shunts of Afro-Cuban salsa, the rhythmic pelvic tucks of traditional West African dance, and the circular fluid tracking of Polynesian hula or classical Indian dance, to name a few. Humans have always known dance is integral. But as Western European court culture developed, reaching a peak during British imperialism and the Victorian era, status became tightly bound to rigidity. The rigid, locked spine frame of the Victorian ballroom dancing established a strict etiquette where the upper body was a frozen column and the pelvis was completely locked in place, stripped of any independent movement. To move the pelvis was viewed as low-class, unrefined, or unchristian. When this rigid linear framework was exported globally via imperialism and Puritan migration to America, it clashed violently with organic, rhythmic, pelvic-centered movement cultures. The mind of the empire viewed native hip-centric movements not as sophisticated nervous system tools, but as primitive, sinful, and dangerous. It wasn't a conscious conspiracy, it was a subconscious projection of control born from a deep fear of the untamed. The general notion was applied often that if you can't control the internal impulse, you legislate the external boundary. While most of us don't have rules banning dance anymore, we in the Western world inherited that exact psychological architecture. We have 8-hour windows of the day where we sit frozen in office chairs and school desks. We have a cultural voice that says a quiet body is a good body. We subconsciously freeze our own generators just to fit into the room. From my own lived experience, moving from a mind that started out life with way too much chaotic chatter inside to a mind that is now quite calm and able to take stress in stride, the choice to harness energy has been an absolute game changer. An entirely overlooked way to improve mental health is actually to begin with your fascia and its ability to allow energy to flow through it without impedance. When your fascia is open, energy no longer gets trapped in your brain, forcing it to spin that current into loops, chronic threat surveillance, and endless mental chatter. Instead, the voltage grounds back down into the rest of you, clearing the channel of your awareness. If you spend your days doing a very heavy mental task load, your upper processing terminal is running at maximum voltage. But when the project is done, your physical body drops into total exhaustion. If you just collapse onto the couch or sit perfectly static, the circuit stays broken. The head pressure stays high. The cerebrospinal fluid stagnates because the base of the skull is locked down, and the metamind is left home alone in the attic, spinning out, tracking data loops and creating unbearable chaotic inner environments because it has nowhere to dump the current. For me, that used to feel like literal torture. Getting energy management systems on lockdown has been my favorite thing I've ever done for myself. My brain is a significantly more enjoyable place to live now because I started treating my energy like an actual current that needs to be routed and grounded, rather than just a concept in my head. So, how can we implement dance as an energy router to ground? When you want to run a complete system reformat, especially after a heavy mental session, you execute these 3 steps sequentially. It takes less than 12 minutes total, requires 0 equipment, and uses gravity and skeletal weight instead of athletic muscle energy. Don't worry about perfectly matching any specific dances listed. They're given simply as a point of reference to picture the idea. Moving anything like it will suffice. Phase 1, the static dump. Time 3 to 5 minutes. Execution. Stand with your feet wider than hip width, knees softly bent. Move your hips purely side to side. Think isolated lateral shifts seen heavily in salsa and Middle Eastern belly dance styles. Let your upper body stay quiet while your pelvic bowl shunts left and right. The Science Plus goal: you are shearing the matted collagen in your outer hips and IT bands to clear out the day's 3D survival static. If you don't dump the static first, the energy you generate next will hit a wall at your waist. The hack: feel free to do this while listening to something with a heavy driving bass line to help shake loose the dense collagen bonds until you reach an involuntary deep sigh or a sudden drop in shoulder tension. Phase 2, the hydraulic crank. Time 2 to 3 minutes. The execution: transition into a direct rhythmic forward and back pelvic rocking. Focus entirely on the articulation of your sacrum. As your pelvis tucks forward, let your chin tuck slightly. As your pelvis rocks back, let your head lift slightly. To picture this hip movement, a gold standard is traditional West African dance, specifically root rhythms like those from Guinea or Mali. Science Plus goal: you are establishing sacro-occipital reciprocity and manually pumping the CSF handle, forcing high conductivity liquid light straight up the spinal highway to clear brain fog. The hack: feel free to match the movement to a driving rhythm or steady beat. This is pure power generation. Continue until you experience a cool, tingling sensation climbing up the spine or back of neck. If you don't notice this initially, don't worry. As you continue this practice, your attunement to the sensations and your awareness of it will increase over time. Phase 3, toroidal integration. Time, 5 minutes. The execution, slow the tempo down dramatically. Begin making wide, smooth, continuous figure eights or slow rolling circles with your pelvis, tracking the natural spiral contours of your joints. To picture this, try drawing from the logic of Polynesian movements. Science plus goal. You are now taking the raw voltage generated in phase 2 and spinning it into your helical fascial sheets. This weaves the energy around your body, sealing the electromagnetic field so you stop leaking energy. The hack, feel free to do this in complete silence or with ambient drone. If possible, let your analytical pattern engine, your mind, go completely offline and simply observe the interior geometry of your body moving. If your mind is always meta-narrating, just give it the job of noticing the experience very deeply and with as much detail as it would like to find. Operator protocols, the daily calibration, 10 minutes. Done first thing in the morning, barefoot to set your internal system clock before you look at a single digital screen. The defrag, done immediately after you finish a heavy analytical task, whether that's a deep focus study session, hours of screen time, or a massive push to hit a deadline. Run phase 1 and phase 3 to shear away the mental static so your brain doesn't loop on your work all night. Voltage spike safeguard. If you start feeling dizzy or experience a sudden burst of intense emotion during phase 2, that is a standard indication that a clogged pathway is blowing clear. Simply transition immediately into phase 3, the spiral, and touch your bare hands or feet to a grounded surface to safely discharge the excess current. That covers the basics, but for those who like a challenge or really love dance, there is one fun combo move I will mention, the transverse vector, the wide door swing and circular spiral, the master integration, the movement profile, the wide rotational door opening hip gestures from classical Indian dance like, you're gonna have to forgive my pronunciation, Bharatanatyam, or Polynesian hula. The science plus goal. This is the absolute peak of complex biological engineering. It utilizes the transverse plane, forcing the femur, thigh bone, to rotate deep within the pelvic socket while the spine spirals. The system result, toroidal field expansion and helix winding. Your fascia isn't laid out in straight lines. It wraps around your body in helical spiral sheets. When you move the pelvis in circles or wide swinging spirals, you're literally winding the helical fascial sheets like a clock spring. This creates a highly coherent, self-reinforcing electromagnetic field that mirrors the shape of your heart's torus. All right, so we have looked at the mechanics of how you actually work and how our history conditioned us to forget it. What I'm showing you today is a page out of a literal user manual for an unshackled human node. This isn't based on woo-woo or superstition. It is rooted in the structural reality of your physical biological hardware. Disclaimer. As always, use your own discernment regarding the best practices for your own body's current health status, and please consult a physician if you are unsure. This creator is not responsible for injury or liability. Honoring the literal engineering of your own nervous system isn't just a wellness practice. It is an act of absolute sovereignty. It means you are choosing to run your own system from the inside out. It is an act of absolute revolution for you and the society around you. Your generator is always online. Now you know a great way to implement its potential. I hope you enjoyed this update.